Do you believe a baby could truly grow wings? If your child were different, would you fight to protect them or hide them away? I'm Katie, an ordinary mother with an extraordinary story. My relationship with Paco was never romantic, just two rough-edged stones finding fleeting warmth in the cracks of life. When I discovered I was pregnant with Ricky, everything grew complicated. Though not my first child, it was the first time I felt utterly unprepared for motherhood, and after his birth, those inexplicable anomalies began creeping in like a thickening fog, slowly enveloping us all. Ricky was crying again, that particular wail I'd come to recognise, the one that spoke of unbearable pain. I rushed into the room, gathered him in my arms and peeled back his clothes to check. My heart seized. There it was, another bruise, fresh and angry on his lower left back, darker this time, more ominous. The world tilted violently. I nearly collapsed. Cradling that fragile life, I knelt frozen, crushed under the weight of inexpressible terror and guilt. The next morning, I still had to leave for work. I drilled instructions into Lisa. Watch Ricky closely, and she nodded with solemn determination. But when I returned, the apartment hummed with an eerie quiet. "How's your brother?" I asked. Lisa fidgeted, eyes downcast. The lump on his back, it bled. I was scared to touch it, so I practiced cleaning on my doll first. My throat tightened. How old is she? A child teaching herself to care for an infant, playing at being an adult. Rushed to the nursery, and found the crib empty. My mind went blank with static. Just as panic threatened to swallow us whole, familiar gurgle echoed from the corner. Ricky's laugh. My months-old baby perched impossibly high on the wardrobe like a discarded toy. My heart stalled. I stretched to reach him, desperate to cradle him safe, but he slipped from the edge. But in that instant, tiny wings burst from his back, arresting his fall. Lisa gasped. Standing there, I felt language abandon me. I don't remember how I lifted him down, only the blood smeared on those fledgling wings. Lisa helped silently, movements feather-light. Together we draped blankets over his crib, a makeshift canopy to thwart future flights. Week later at dinner, a flap rustled beneath Ricky's onesie. His wings were stirring. Lisa and I measured, 8 centimetres grown in 7 days, now spanning 17. We tried taping them down, but he fussed. So I hauled out the sewing machine. Side by side, we snipped twin slits in every tiny garment, stitching the edges neat. Watching him practice flapping on the floor, earnest and joyful, our needles kept pace. Then came feathers, downy at first, but undeniably real. That afternoon, I borrowed an avian anatomy book from the library and bought Ricky the smallest bicycle helmet in stock. Back home, Lisa and I foam-padded every sharp corner, laid out cushioned mats, even wrapped Ricky in foam blocks before strapping on his tiny helmet. Then it happened. He hovered mid-air, giggling wildly. When he bumped into a ceiling light, I yelled for Lisa to turn it off, but he still tumbled, landing safely on a pillow with just a small scratch on his wing. That evening, Lisa read our lottery numbers aloud. We won. Only €2,000, but enough to take the kids to the mall. While helping Lisa pick out a Barbie, I turned back. Ricky was gone. Whooshing sound overhead. I looked up. There he was, delighted. He zoomed past stunned shoppers, their phones snapping pictures. Security guards chased him with ladders, but he dodged effortlessly. For the first time it struck me, he might fly farther than any of us ever could, begged the manager to cut the lights. In the sudden darkness, Ricky glided down onto a freezer display, just as an officer lunged from behind shelves, snatching him mid-air. The hospital took him for evaluation. In the waiting room, I paced like a caged animal. When the doctor finally called me in, my first words were raw with fear. "Is my baby okay?" Until the doctor suggested comprehensive tests, then asked point blank, "Do you or the father possess extraordinary abilities?" My throat locked. After relentless pleading, he finally released Ricky to me. But as we turned toward the exit, they ambushed us. A pack of wolves descended, cameras flashing, shouts about the winged baby ricocheting off hospital walls. The doctor shoved us into a waiting taxi. The door slammed, muting the chaos. The TV was already blaring news footage, supermarket clips, interviews with our nosy neighbour, even our apartment's floor plan displayed like some crime scene schematic, felt flayed alive. Ricky cried again. This time, I didn't stir. Lisa lifted the blanket from his crib herself, letting him flutter to the wardrobe top, a small act of defiance. a gift of freedom. Less than 2 minutes later, the doorbell rang. I heard her wary,
C'est qui?
Then, a voice that turned my bones to ice. Ricky's father. Paco sat by Ricky's bedside, fingertips grazing his wings with unexpected tenderness. For that moment, he became the father I'd hoped he could be. But when he stepped outside, his proposal gutted me. Let's sell his story to the press. We could buy a bigger house, give him the space he needs. My first instinct was rage. Had he only returned to exploit our son? Yet the future he painted was one I'd dreamed of too often. Against my better judgment, I nodded. The next day, we faced the cameras. Ricky tethered to my hand by a thin harness, his lifeline, our last illusion of control. Then, without warning, he wrenched free. Collective gasp as he arrowed toward the lake, wings beating with desperate strength. We chased, screaming his name, but he flew farther, higher, until the forest swallowed him whole. One by one, the crowd dispersed. Only we remained, 3 figures by the water's edge, staring at the horizon where our world had vanished. That night, sleep never came. At dawn, I told them I was going to the lake. Paco tried to stop me, but I pulled on my sweater and walked into the water, step by step until it rose past my waist, then my shoulders. I was ready to let go. Then I heard it. Laughter. And there he was, hovering above me, his wings shimmering brighter than I remembered, like some dream angel who'd found his way home, then took flight again. This time I didn't chase him. I watched as he soared into the treetops and vanished at the forest's edge. A quiet farewell. Sometimes I still scan the horizon, hoping to glimpse familiar wings slicing through the morning light. Until then, I'll keep living, for him and for myself.